This story is extraordinary. Alex Jones's infamous InfoWars website is getting a major rebrand thanks to The Onion. The satirical site led by CEO Ben Collins is set to launch a new version of InfoWars tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern with original programming, including a parody of Alex Jones's old show, where he spent decades spouting right-wing conspiracy theories, awful ones. It was one of those theories that brought his downfall, a lie that the Sandy Hook shooting that took the lives, I'm choked up even thinking about it, took the lives of 20 children. They were kindergartners and first graders, and 6 of their teachers. He said the whole thing was staged. This resulted in him losing a defamation case brought forward by the families and owing them $1.5 billion. And tonight, The Onion plans to start compensating those families with an initial payment of more than $100,000. With us for more, Ben Collins, CEO of The Onion. You know him because Ben is our longtime former colleague at NBC News, where he had one of the hardest jobs covering conspiracy theories, the dark web, the underbelly of what is happening in the disinformation and misinformation space. It was awful. And now Ben is in the light. Ben, this is amazing. Tell me, what are you doing? And welcome back.
Yeah, Steph, first of all, hi, good to see you. Yeah, no, we're very excited about this. And look, Alex Jones has to pay these families $1.5 billion. It's been 4.5 years since that judgment came down, and he's paid them $0. So we're going to give them $100,000 to start. We hope to eventually take over that studio and part out that studio and give everything that comes from that studio, to the families, so they can make a lot more than $100,000 over time. But the most important thing now we get to do is make fun of the whole empire. This guy made so much money selling basically boner pills on the backs of every American tragedy over the last 10 years. And look, we can do that too, but we're going to sell some oxygen pills tonight. I know it's so much effort to breathe. So just take a pill instead.
I actually thought I misheard you. I thought, he couldn't have just said boner pills, but of course, that's exactly what you said. You told the Washington Post that the effort to buy InfoWars has become the world's biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Explain to us why. What has this been like for you?
Yeah, look, it's been about 18 months of us trying to get this thing. We won an auction. That auction got taken back to state courts. In that time period, Alex tried to hide all of his assets and strip the place for parts and try to basically do everything he could to buy this thing back from his landlord. We've just stepped in over and over again because, the guy knows how to mess with the legal system. He's really good at that. But we've decided, Steph, in this moment right now, there's a lot of pieces of American life that we're losing. And I think the thing that we didn't want to lose here is we didn't want to lose justice for these families. They have been through the ringer over and over again. They had the worst thing in the world happen to them, and then they got harassed for it for a decade. This is one thing that we could stop. We could stop more bad stuff happening to these people, and we decided to do that. So here we are today, relaunching this thing, and instead of this horrific harassment machine that existed for 10 years, we're going to do something very, very stupid and very funny.
It's more than stupid and funny. It's extraordinary. I mean, you're going to start paying these families $100,000. How are you even getting that money? How are you making it happen while you're still embroiled in court? I don't even want to think about legal fees with Alex Jones.
Here's how it's going to happen. I know it seems every day like we're losing this country to some really evil stuff. Everything's like gambling and speculation and fascism and, rounding up people, your neighbors. But that's a severe minority of people. When we started putting up merch with the InfoWars logo with an onion in the middle of it, that's now rainbow colored, by the way. People ran to the Onion store. There it is. People ran to the Onion store to buy this stuff. There are so many more of us than there are of them, stuff. This whole experiment has proved to me that we're ready to get past the awful, evil stuff where we torment and haunt, the parts of society that have been ritually beat up on. And they are looking for any sort of vehicle or avenue for goodness, for good stuff. And we've provided that vehicle. And, all that money comes from people who've already bought merch, and they're going to buy more merch, and it's going to keep happening in perpetuity. So I'm excited to make this thing a big empire. My hope, Steph, is in 5 years, people will remember InfoWars as that funny, stupid, website streaming service that we built, and not Alex Jones's evil empire.
I love everything about what you're doing. Let me ask you, what has this journey been like for you, Ben? Like, the reason I'm so emotional is because I remember what it was like for you when we worked at NBC. Just embroiled, you're spending your days embroiled in QAnon and 4chan and 8chan and the darkest, worst places. And now you are not just moving into the light, you are holding the light. What has this been like for you as a person?
Look, I've had to grow up a lot, I think, over the last couple of years in realizing that there are going to be people in the way who have a lot more power and friends in government and all that stuff that want an objectively bad thing to happen. And you just got to fight through it. And I will say, Steph, I remember I was on air with you, but I was on air the day that the judgment came down for the Sandia families. And I was watching simultaneously the judgment, and I was watching Alex respond to it. And Alex said at that moment, he said, do these families really think they're going to get any of this money? They're not going to get a penny of this. And guess what, buddy? They're going to get some money today. So I'm pretty excited about this whole thing.
Ben Collins, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being you. Good luck tonight. I know I'll be tuning in at 8 p.m. Ben Collins, thank you.